Hey, this is Kenny from Kenny's Audiophile Record Reviews. Thank you very much for viewing my channel. I deeply appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. That would really help me out. Thank you very much for viewing. In this video, I'm talking about why I think audiophiles probably need to settle a little bit more and probably accept the actions of flippers and the escalating prices of records. But before I get into that, I always gotta mention a record and a spotlight, but today, or in this video, it's not a record. It's a reel-to-reel tape. John Coltrane, Brother John Coltrane, Meditations. I bought that at swap meet. The person wanted $5. We settled on $3. But like I said, I'm going to get into why I don't necessarily blame the actions of flippers and the actions of record manufacturers in terms of these escalating prices. But before I get into that, I want to briefly mention some alternatives to their actions. Because for me personally, I can't always go out and buy the most grand and most expensive version of a record. I can't always go out and buy these UHQR box sets. This is the 33 RPM version, not the 45. Hopefully I'll be able to buy the 45 RPM version real soon. That's on my wish list. At the moment, it's just a wish though, but hopefully I'll be able to get it. But so yeah, I just want to bring you some alternatives because, like I said, through circumstances beyond our control, like for example, when that Eastern Sounds by Yusef Lateef that was issued by Craft Recordings. I tried to get that set, but I just couldn't. It just, they had a limited quantity and I couldn't get it. So that led me to say to myself, gosh, I got to seek out some other alternatives that are not that expensive because that thing's going on the market and the flippers are going to escalate the price. So that means, gosh, I said to myself, Kenny, you know what? You got to buy a lesser expensive alternative to that. And I think that's what some of us audiophiles have to learn how to do. I've been doing it for years, and that I cannot buy every box set that's issued all the time, even if it is the pinnacle or the peak of that box set in terms of its performance, in terms of sound and sound stage. I can't always do that, so I have to seek out lesser expensive alternatives. And that's why I think, and I know some of you serious audiophiles are not going to like what I have to say, but it applies to me and it applies to some of you out there, I assume as well. If a CD is well mastered and well manufactured and is played on a very good CD player and or DAC, it can sound very nice and very convincing. Same with SACDs and same with high-res files. So if we can't, afford these pricey box sets, there are other alternatives. There are SACDs, like I said. And there are LP sets that are not that pricey as well. And LPs, I should say. This version of Miles Davis Kinda Blue, it's the Sony Legacy version of it. And I know some of you guys and women out there don't like this one, but I actually love this one. For my ears, for me, it sounds good to me, and that's what matters to me. So, if you can't afford, some of these pricey box sets, there are alternatives, and I think that is the value of the CD and the value of the digital realm. They're expensive, less expensive alternatives to some of these expensive issues they've been coming out. If you get the right one, like I said, if it's mastered properly, well manufactured, it's going to sound really good and very convincing on a really good setup. But I'm going to briefly talk about flippers and record manufacturers and why I don't necessarily blame them for their actions. Flippers, I covered it in a separate video, so I'm going to go through that real quick. Like I said, that video that I posted on my channel, I don't know how many weeks ago it was, but it's on my channel, is flippers are not breaking any laws, and they're not violating any moral codes. They're not doing anything wrong. I think we look down at flippers because they get in the way of us audiophiles getting our precious records. That's the issue we have with flippers, where the actions of flippers has been going on in different facets of life for years, if not decades. I don't blame the flippers for what they do. They're not breaking any laws. They're not violating any moral codes. Like I said, they're just getting in the way of us getting our precious box sets. And I also, be quite frank with you, cannot blame record manufacturers. Here's why. Record manufacturers are in it for the money. They're in it to make a fair and reasonable profit, okay? They're not in it as a public service to audiophiles. They have to make a profit, a fair and reasonable profit. They have expenses more than some of us can ever imagine. They have to pay employees, taxes, rent or lease, health insurances, all these insane, items that escalate in that they have to take care of in terms of an expense. Let me put it this way: if you were in business, you're gonna run it to make as much profits as you can as well. You can't blame the actions of a record manufacturer. I cannot blame Chad Cassom at Analog Productions Acoustic Sounds. I can't blame the folks at MoFi. I can't blame the people at Craft Recordings that I can't afford to pay a premium for their products. I'm going to tell you who I blame, though. There's one person who I can blame, and here it is. I blame myself. I blame myself for not positioning myself over the years to be in a position now to afford each and every box set that comes out. That's my fault. It's not these people as businessmen and businesswomen. They're running a business, like I said, not a public service for audiophiles. So we have to keep that in mind. That's just my opinion. I did this, like I said, to generate, some comments in the comment section to get your opinion. And also, when I do these videos, especially this one, I'm telling you the truth from my heart, and I have to be honest. Otherwise, it's not going to come across as genuine. And this is how I honestly feel on this particular topic. So, like I said, leave your comments in the comment section below. And, it's going to be interesting to read them. God bless. Love. Peace to all.